Hello, everybody, and welcome to the round 21 preview here of us, the MLS fantasy experts. I'm Victor, joined by my co-host Charlie once again, here to talk about the round that was round 20. A lot of points were scored, and round 21 upcoming, which is only a single game week. So, how did you do this week, Charlie?
I didn't have the best week, but in my defense, there was nothing I could do about a lot of the stuff that happened. First of all, Michael Parkhurst does well, keeps a clean sheet first game. At the start of the game, he was playing left back in Atlanta like 4-3-3, but then they kind of shifted formation after he at least got that red card, and he played just as and was one of like the three center backs and kind of like a 3-5-2, I would say. And then in the second, so then Gressel popped off that game. It was like a right mid or whatever he was playing. He's on the right side. And the second game, he plays as a flat out right back against DC United. Parkhurst goes to the bench. Franco Escobar plays left back. Like, how am I supposed to predict that from Atlanta? It just doesn't make any sense. They after winning 5 this year, they changed their shape and barely beat DC. So that screwed me. Guzan had. And then Atlanta kept a clean sheet that game too, and robbed Parkhurst of another 7 points. But Guzan had 16, solid. Morrow played twice and got 4 points, which doesn't make any sense. Gonzalez played once and got 4 points, which is another weird one. Laurent Simon is the Toronto center back that plays twice. Mavinga doesn't get a game. It's on the bench first game. Second game is not even in the 18. I just don't understand. Zavaleta starts second game, and it clearly cost Toronto because of their dumb rotations. They end up losing to Houston home 3-1. You are awful away. So that screwed me there. For some reason, Saman being the center back that plays twice. Third of all, then, Toronto. Pozuelo gets, I don't even know, not a serious injury. He's questionable. But then it's not even in the 18 on their Saturday game. He had 9 points the first one. If he played the second one, probably drops another 9 minimum. That's actually a good captaincy, instead of being the 9 that I got from him. He had 29. I really thought he was one of the guys I said my captain in the podcast. Ended up captain Pozuelo. That cost me. Valeri did solid 15. The guy I was most reluctant to bat. My midfield was one of the most consistent. Joseph Martinez got 22. Good. Fernandez got 18. Good. I had Crognale on my bench by the end. He played 1 game. He had 2, but he didn't come on anyway, which was fine. I had Kato at 7. He was the same price. Played both, and I'll take it from a cheap defender like that, getting a 7. And Gustavo Bo, who I put in at the last minute for Josie Altidore, dropped a 16. Oh, and Altidore, by the way, on the bench, stepped on and scored after I got rid of it. I got so screwed over and unlucky this week. My price went up to 3.8, I think, and I have 112 point, 112.2 total now, which is a good spot for price for my price to be, considering I was at 108 last week, which was super far behind the pack. But now my overall ranking is dropped down 10 places. I've been hovering around the 300 overall mark for the past 4 weeks. Now I'm at 318th with a total score of 644. And my total points this week is 157. I'll take it, considering how unlucky I got from Toronto and Atlanta selection.
Yeah, I got unlucky as well. I happened to manage to get no defenders to keep a clean sheet, which doesn't help very much. I went different. I didn't have any Revs defenders. I didn't have any Atlanta defenders. I had Valentine, who got 2. He costed the clean sheet for Portland against Orlando. Also getting minus for the error leading to the goal.
Rightly so.
Yes, I mean, he's trying to pick up the ball out of bounds when it's not out of bounds. I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know what he's doing.
It's not like it was close either. It was so far. Fenced up,
My best defender was Jorge Morera, who got a secondary assist, ended up at 14 points total. I had Michael Bradley get 10. He didn't play the second game. Again, Toronto deserved to lose with that lineup they put out there. Heel, which I had Pozuelo as my captain. I had Joseph Martinez as my captain, which I ended up losing points on by captaining Pozuelo. And I mean, Heel got 29 points. You can never complain about that. My front line was very solid, however, of Martinez, Fernandez, and Bo getting a combined 56, I believe that. No, yeah, 56 exactly from the three strikers, which I will take any double game week. And Guzan coming up with 16 as well. Um, Two things I learned from this game week: Chicago are bad, and Portland can't keep a clean sheet. That's all I learned from this week. Um, Overall rank of 192, total score of 658. My budget didn't go up as much as I would have liked. It's only 111.7 million, which kind of left me a little tight on budget this week.
You're so single game week this week. Less risk of those crazy rotations that we had last week. Hopefully, I'll
Hopefully.
be able to pick players to actually play.
Alright.
So,
You want to go over your defenders?
yeah, I'll start. In goal on my bench, I have Luis Robles and my keeper. He is cheap at 5.8. I feel like Columbus are still not an attacking team despite getting 2 wins last 2 games they've had. I don't trust them still. I feel like a Higuain-less Columbus is still worth betting against. Even if Diaz looks good and comes back to full health, and that Mukhtar guy, who's that other new dude I saw they signed a couple days ago, I still don't trust them. And the Red Bulls look solid defensively, as they have been historically, and I expect them to keep a clean sheet at home. My first defender is Andrew Farrell. Made the mistake of not having last week. I won't that mistake again. He's 5.2, still cheap. He'll get a price rise no matter what, considering how many points he had. So that's my first solid option. Just a good pick. Orlando at home. New England's been on fire. And Nani got injured too last week. So they'll be playing without him, even though he hasn't been playing much anyway. But I think New England will probably keep a clean sheet that game. My third defender I am less sure about, but he'll be solid for bonus points. That's Josh Sands from NYCFC. Kansas City are very hit or miss. And NYCFC continue to win, even though it's been very unconvincingly, especially last week against that 10-man Colorado team. But Josh Sands has been getting he's back from injury. He gets those passes. He had like 9 points last week. Or no, he had 6 when they didn't keep a clean sheet. But it just shows that he gets the bonus points. And he's like just low risk to me and pretty cheap at 5.8 for a starting NYCFC defender. And then my fourth defender on the bench is Jorge Moreira from the Timbers. He basically plays as a winger at times, and just he had that shot against Seattle on
Led
Sunday
to the
where he
goal.
literally led to the goal, hammered it on his left foot. I really like what he's offering right now. I feel like he looks like he's about to score, getting assists every game, and he's getting those defending bonuses through recoveries and tackles, just running up and down the field, taking no prisoners. And that's my defense this week.
Alright.
There's a lot of clean sheet options.
I agree. There's a lot of clean sheet options. And there's a lot of games that I'm staying away from as well. But in goal, I have Sean Johnson. Purely because I'm gonna give some advice which I don't usually follow up on. It's the first game of the week. There is no harm in putting Sean Johnson on your bench, seeing if he gets a clean sheet. If he doesn't, you can change your team around and put in another
The
goalkeeper.
problem I have with that thought process is you're still wasting like the 1.8 instead of a 4 mil guy, putting him as a keeper. My thoughts is that you can put anybody who plays semi early and make sure there's a game in mind that you're looking at that you can afford a keeper from if your keeper on the bench doesn't do well. It doesn't necessarily have to be the first game. It can be just like say that like there's a really good matchup like on Sunday, and it basically means you pick any Saturday goalkeeper on your bench, and then if they don't do well, make sure you can switch that Sunday keeper.
Yeah, but I feel like just having Sean Johnson in my team, like if he keeps a clean sheet, I could maybe find more budget elsewhere. A lot. Same with
Yeah.
who also I have on the bench. I have James Sands as well on the bench, who is 5.8. He is absolutely a player I enjoy to see. He got 6 points without keeping a clean sheet as a defender. That shows that he got at least 4 bonus points. I expect the same against Sporting Kansas City, who just lost 2-0 at home against a weaker Dallas team without Pomacall, so I feel confident in NYCFC's ability to keep a clean sheet as well. But I have him on the bench as well because if he does keep a clean sheet, I will probably take one of my starters out of my team and upgrade my midfield, which my starters right now consist of Amro Tarek, who I'm not convinced is going to start. Um, there was rotation. Aaron Long was not in the 18 yesterday, and there's a lot of transfer rumors around him. So I think Tarek gets the start again. He's only 5.5 million. Got 10 points yesterday. Didn't play the first game of the double game week, so he's gonna have fresher legs than most. They're playing home to Columbus. I don't buy Columbus still. They're still not good. And
Aaron Long started against Orlando.
yesterday, I believe it was Parker and
Yeah.
him. I think
Nah,
Long.
Parker played left back. Parker left back, Tarek and Long and center back. Maria right back.
Either way, I'm trusting Tarek to get 10. Well, not 10 points, but hopefully a clean sheet. But
I mean, all three of them played.
Tarek
Yes, last time.
Tarek will be gone though if Sands keeps a clean sheet. Um, as well as my next defender, who I'm almost going to guarantee a clean sheet out of this team, Minnesota. I have Metanier, who is almost like Jorge Morera on the Timbers, but for Minnesota. Doesn't like to defend. He gets those scrappy little bonus points here and there. He's 7 million though, which is a bit expensive, but he gets some assists. Maybe he'll get a goal. Vancouver has been struggling, and I mean struggling. So,
5 losses in a row now.
and they've not been close. They got blown out 3-1 against San Jose at home. Got blown out by the Revs 4-0. I'm betting against Vancouver right now. And my last defender on the bench, which could change to Farrell, but for right now it's Antonio Delamea. He's 6.4 million, but he gets forward on the corners. Andrew Farrell doesn't, and I feel like Orlando might give up a set piece goal, which could help out my case of Antonio Delamea maybe getting another goal, which could be his third of the season.
Yeah. I like betting against Orlando this week, having Revs defenders. Probably the hottest team in the East right now. Let's go on to our midfield. I am struggling with who I want to bench and start. I have 4 starting midfielders, and I'm rotating between which one I have on the bench right now. But the first one who was definitely staying on the field is Carles Gil. He 29-point game week last week. Guaranteed price rights for sure. 11.8. Orlando have been pretty bad. Heel has been pretty good, and he's got Bo helping him out now. So that's drawing some of the attention away from him for the Revs. And so Heel's been able to benefit having another like really good player on that team to draw some attention for defenders and work some space for himself. Even like right mid or attacking mid, wherever they decide to deploy him. My next midfielder I have is Kaku right now. I'm kind of switching between him and Magnus Eriksson. They're both good options, I think, this week, playing pretty poor opposition in Colorado and Columbus. I could see both of them doing well, but I have Kaku right now just because he's a little bit cheaper. And he had a good game week last week with 11 points, was it? 5, 6, 7, 9 points. But still very solid. He gets those key passes, gets those assists, and is good for a goal or two, maybe. So he's my first player. And then, I don't worry, I still have my San Jose options covered with my next two midfielders, and that's Christian Espinoza and Vaco. I have both of them. I wanted to run three deep with Erickson too, since I think that game could be a blowout. San Jose are the hottest team in the league right now.
Uh,
I say even ahead of New England,
Not a
just based on
chance. Nope,
results.
nope.
Based on results, they've won more games than New England has. Like six or seven
We've won
games.
6 out of the last 10. Those
Okay, let
being
me look at San
those
Jose,
being
and I will
four
tell
draws
you.
as well. I honestly think that's a trap game.
I
I
disagree. San Jose is the hottest team.
Colorado,
Look at this.
Color,
They've got fucking.
Colorado are
I
hungry.
swear, I swear.
Colorado are hungry that are uh, are hungry after they got robbed against NYCFC. They got completely robbed.
San Jose are they're surging up the table.
No.
Look at that. Like, look at those wins. One win, two win, three win, one loss in their last like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games they have one loss. And
Still. Uh
it was to New England. Or no, it was to, yeah, it was to Minnesota. We're also very good. So yeah, I still think San Jose are worth picking for. Look at their shots. Vaco's had like 22 in the last two or something. He's been on fire. And Espinoza had 13 points last game. He had an assist and 4 attacking bonuses and 4 other bonuses. That's just I feel like even if they don't do good, they're gonna pummel that goal. They've been just shooting from anywhere on the field. They're gonna get those bonus points. But yeah, I have been thinking about Magnus Eriksson. I was trying to work Maxi Morales into my team, but he is too much cash for what I'm willing to spend right now because of my forwards.
Alright. I have Maxi Morales. I'm not confident about this pick, however. He's just he's a player who needs results, and I feel like NYCFC could win this game 5-0, and it wouldn't surprise me. But they could also lose this game, or could tie this game even. But I have Maxi Morales. He gets bonus points one way or another, so he's. I think he's almost a must-have this week. I have Carlos Heel, who should be in every single person's team this week. Home, he's at home, which he's done worse at home than he has on the road, which is crazy. Even though he's had a fantastic season, somehow not even mentioned as a snub by MLS on the All-Star team. But that's a discussion for another day. Or the Revs already did play Orlando. They did lose, but Heel saw all of the ball against them in the Open Cup. I expect him to see all the ball again Saturday, and he's bound to get at least 8 points, even if he doesn't score. My last starting midfielder, which could be an interesting one, I had him last week. I have Michael Bradley. Home against Cincinnati. I think he's going to see all of the ball. He is going to see all of the ball. He's a very I mean, he's not a good player. I can't say he's a good player, but he's good. He's good when he's on the ball, and when he's on the ball, he gets bonus points, and bonus points are good. Who doesn't like bonus points?
I mean, he gets bonus points. Was he offered anything else? I mean, you get like
He
5 or
could get
6.
assist. He could get an assist or two. But when you look at the midfielders this week, there's no like one that's.
Kaku, take a pick, Jose.
I'm telling you, I'm staying away from that San Jose game.
I like Marco Fabian too this week.
I don't. Philly play on the road, I believe. Yes.
To Montreal.
Uh, I don't know. I'm staying away from San Jose. I'm staying away from all the games that I don't need to worry about. My last pick is cheap, budget. Will he play? He's been playing. 4.6 million, and that's Bofo Salcedo. Interesting pick. He's on my bench right now. We'll see if he stays throughout my team the whole week. He's 4.6 million.
He should start too. I don't see, maybe Corey
he
Baird,
can't go wrong. I think he's gonna start. So if he starts, gets a 5 or a 6 maybe, I'll take it.
Wait, he only had one. He only had 1 point last week. It was just the minute point. He only had 1 minute point.
He started. He got subbed off early, but I'm still not Worried?
I mean, 4.6 worth taking a risk.
For
Not
sure.
even a risk.
Not a risk at 4.6. Could increase the budget.
Oh, he did come off for Corey Baird.
Hopefully
Yeah, I
Corey
like
Bear
that.
does not start.
That's an alright option. You want to go into our
I
forwards?
would love to. Alright.
How about you go first? You go
I
first.
would
I don't
I
know.
would love to go first. I went big. I went very, very big. I went very, very big. Not Carlos Vela big though. I didn't want to pull it off. I'm staying away from that LAFC Atlanta United game because that could go either way. It's a must watch, I would say, in terms of entertainment, but not in terms of fantasy. Uh, so my big striker this week, Brian Fernandez. He can't stop scoring. He scores for fun. LA Galaxy are bad. They beat LAFC, but I'm not convinced that they are good enough to beat anyone else. For some reason,
They only can beat the best team in the league.
Zlatan just has LAFC's number, but LAFC seem to know how to beat every other team. But LA Galaxy, they lost twice against San Jose already, which I mean I don't.
They beat the Timbers last fixture.
But this is
Ibra had
this is
two.
this is at Providence Park. Brian Fernandez, you know what he can do, home or away, and
Province Parker, we haven't won in a game.
I it
To Colorado and Orlando.
it will change. It will change. My next striker, who I almost captained, almost, and that's Josie Altidore. Home against Cincinnati. They were a mess yesterday, an absolute mess. The Rev should have put 5 past them. They didn't. Toronto are going to be hungry. I don't want them to win, but they're going to win. They're going to be hungry. Greg Vanney can accuse his team all he wants of playing badly, but he did put out the worst lineup I've ever seen. So I think now he's not going to bench Bradley or Altidore with more than a week rest, I believe, and now Toronto could win this one 5-0, but also Cincinnati, maybe they'll have something up our sleeves. And my last player in my team, new designated player, he's already played twice, Gustavo Bo, home against Orlando. Was almost gonna. It's my captain's between Heel, Bo, and Altidore right now, but Bo is almost a must-have this week. I think as long as he gains his fitness from the last double game week.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in my strikers. These were the first 3 players I put in. One I think is a must-have that you slid on is Carlos Vela. He's at home. He's been scoring. Like look at this last few games. How many points does he have? When has he not scored? And look at this. Okay, let's check here. He didn't do anything against Colorado. My computer's frozen. Sick. Okay, he didn't play against Houston. 15 against LA away. 22 home to Vancouver. 14 away to Kansas City. The Colorado game he had 3, but both those games where he hasn't played well. He's been away, by the way. 14 away to the Timbers. 18 home to Montreal. Like he just does. It's 10 away to Dallas. 15 versus Dallas.
Are you worried?
11 away to Cleveland.
Are you worried that?
I have no doubt in my mind. Every time I doubt him, he.
Are you worried that Atlanta beat them 5-0 last year?
No, because LAFC are a new team this year. They have the integration of Atuesta in the starting lineup. He runs the midfield. Vela, even though LAFC didn't play well against the Galaxy, Vela played well. It just shows that he just is just a level above right now, and he'll do well no matter who he's playing or how well the rest of his team is playing. He puts that team on his back, and hopefully maybe Atuesta will not get marked at the game like he will against the Galaxy. I don't really trust Atlanta's holding midfielders to be able to keep hold of Atuesta like the Galaxy did with Dos Santos, especially considering that. Who I was going to say? Oh yeah, Pity Martinez will probably play. He'll probably start after his game, and he does not defend. And it'd be his job to make sure Atuesta doesn't like rack up those passes like he usually does. Fabio Alvarez played in that role last week. Number 10, he just stood on Atuesta that whole game. And I don't think Pitty's going to be really willing to do that work defensively. So Atuesta runs those games, and he's probably the second most influential player on that team besides Vela. So yeah, I really like Vela this week. And then my other two forwards, I also have Gustav Bo. He's a bonus point machine. He was a bonus point machine last time he was at home. Did less against Cincinnati, but clearly he just had some tired legs after this is kind of his first game for these first couple of games the last few months with the Mexican League season currently ended until just a couple weeks ago where he didn't play. So yeah, I have Bo. He'll probably do well. He does good at home according to the last one game he's had there. And then I have Darwin Quintero. I think he's a must-have this week. I mean, he scores even when he doesn't offer that many bonus points. But if he's going to score against a team, it's going to be Vancouver, who 5-game losing streak, by the way. And there's a little bit of a risk to him, I guess, considering that when he doesn't do anything, he doesn't do anything. 1 point away to Colorado, 6 points versus San Jose with a 2 points for home to Dallas. He's a little bit more of a risk, but I could see that game being like a 7-0 or.
Whoa.
Since I think Vancouver are worse than Cincinnati then right now. I think.
That is a bold statement.
I'm making it.
All right.
So yeah, I have him, and those are my forwards. I've also been. Those are my first three, but if I were to change Altidore, yeah, I'd say it's a good option. I was thinking about Brian Fernandez as well, but I don't really trust the Timbers against LA Galaxy. The LA Galaxy have historically had the Timbers, and that scares me a little bit. I thought about Wando for a differential pick who's pretty cheap, but I'm pretty set in stone on my strikers. And in terms of my captain, I have Darwin Quintero right now. I'm like 30 points off the top 100. I need a difference maker, differential pick, and that is Quintero. I think he might even have a chance to drop a hat trick or something against Vancouver. That'll fire me up the rankings.
I think as not a budget striker, but as just a sneaky striker, Haybear could be just one that goes under the radar. Which he's 9.5, but he's definitely a differential pick. Maybe I'll be willing to change it by Friday, but
Brian White, I think, is a good value pick.
I want to see if Wright Phillips starts. I feel like his time is
Brian
due.
White just scored.
I feel like Wright Phillips' time is due.
Did he even come on last game?
He did. He came on for Kaku.
Yeah, and they put Brian White as the number 10. Weird.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
Remember us.
Anything else we're missing?
Remember to follow us on Twitter. Ask us our questions with the link in the description to our Twitters. And hopefully you guys enjoy this one. We'll see you next week.